Welcome back to the Midway to the District show. Missed y'all. If you're here listening to yours truly, Commando, shout out to you. You're the real MVP. Teddy and I are working on a bunch of enhancements. We got a awesome intro coming for you amongst other things as well. But if you're here with us in the rough times, we appreciate you. Really do. So thank you for your time. Um, we're going to be coming some more content. We're excited for what's up next. But for right now, I want you to just sit back, relax, go get yourself a glass of milk. You going to need it for this one. Put away that cup of water. It ain't going to cut it. Not for this spice. That Cajun pasta leftovers marinating in the fridge for a couple days kind of spice. Shout out to you, Fran, because what we're going to discuss on this episode is we're going to discuss why trading up to pick number three is not only a realistic option, but this is one that AP is going to consider. I heard some of you out there tell me that this would never happen. You know who you are, and if you don't know, well, you don't know. Let's keep it pushing, but shout out to Craig though. I do want to hear from you guys. I'm still over here enjoying the delicious meal Chef P has cooked up for us in wave one of free agency. Who is your favorite signing? You feeling Owe? You like Leo Chanel? You getting Chiggy with it? Calevon, Nick Cross? I mean, so many options. We signed so many people. Fantastic deals, by the way. Now that the numbers are coming out and we're seeing the guaranteed money and the impact on the salary cap, man, these signings are just aging like fine wine. Chef P, you did it, man. It's like you went out to the mall and you said, just throw it in the bag. Just throw it in the bag. That's what our GM's doing. We out here building a movement here, kind of like Jaden. Man, I can't wait for this season to start. But the goal isn't for Teddy and I just to ramble on and on, although we are going to do that. But we want you here with us. And so I appreciate your comments. We want to hear from you. If you've got ideas on what you want us to shoot next, we're more than happy to look at those and see what we can cook up. But man, as of right now, I'm just still smelling the sweet aroma of what AP has been cooking for our franchise. You know how sometimes smells can bring back memories? Well, that's exactly what AP's cooking has been doing for me. It's got me thinking about the greatest dining experience I ever had. See, I went to this place called Peppers. Actually, I can't take credit for this one. Shout out to Mike Duberstein. This was years ago, and he came over and he went to this place called Peppers by himself and then had incredible meal and then said, hey, we got to go tomorrow. We're going to this place. He found this place on Yelp. Like, shout out to you, Mike Duberstein. You a one-on-one. You out here looking for restaurants on Yelp. Like someone out there searching, instead of Google on DuckDuckGo or something. Who uses Yelp? But maybe I need to be using Yelp from now on. Anyhow, we go to this restaurant, Peppers. It's in the hood, man. It's in the streets. I didn't feel safe parking my car there. I mean, Mikey and we can hold our own, but out here, yeah, this was a dive for sure. So we end up walking into this place, into Peppers, and Peppers he's like 6 foot, I don't know, 6 foot 7. He's a tall dude. He actually used to play football at LSU. His son plays just a couple years ago now. Played football at LSU as well. Shout out to LSU. You've given us our man, Jaden Daniels. So we go into this place, right? We take a seat. I see Mike strike up a conversation. Pepper's the man, and he doesn't even give us a menu. We just sit down, and he ended up serving us up like an 8-course meal, and we did not order one thing on it. It was incredible. We had no idea how much the bill was going to be, but it didn't matter. It was going to be worth it. It was worth every single penny of it. Pepper goes up and he starts us off with something light, something, he starts us up with a salad, nothing crazy, but it had its ranch on it. So I was feeling that, a little Amik Robertson. Then after we finish that up, he gives us a plate of some fried catfish. Now I hadn't had any of the, it had that Cajun spice on top of the fried catfish. I never had anything like it before, but man, did I love me that Laramie Tunsil extension, right? But then Pepper brings out this tray of crawfish, which also I never had crawfish before. It was just a tray, and it had about 5 pounds of crawfish each for Mike and I. Oh man, it was so good. I absolutely loved me that Adafe Owe, that 4 years, $100 million, which now we found out is $96 million, and less guaranteed money than we thought, because Chef P is like that. But I was out there just chomping, breaking the tails, chomping that crawfish out there, and then Pepper comes over and says, "You gonna need some chiggy sauce with that." He told me that everybody loves to get chiggy with it sometimes, and boy did I ever. I smothered that chiggy sauce all over that etouffee that he was giving me. Man, was this the best meal that I had ever had? And I can't even, it was like 8 different things. And just as I started to get full, Chef P comes out and he brings me this box. He goes, "Look, this is a to-go box here for you. I know you're full. I know you've enjoyed this delicious meal, but I want you to take this one home with you." So I opened up this box, right? I took a peek, opened it up, looked in it, and what do I see? It said, "The Washington Commanders trade up to pick number 3 with the Arizona Cardinals and draft Jeremiah Love." I looked at that box. I was like, Jeremiah Love? And Chef P says, "No, it's Jeremiah Love." Allow me to set the table for you. Jeremiah is not going to make it to pick 7. He's not. There's only a couple of blue chip prospects in this draft, and Jeremiah Love is absolutely one of them. I think he's number 2 in Daniel Jeremiah's big board. Yeah, this draft it's just not like it. We know that the Titans are going to draft him at 4. If they don't draft him, which they will, by the way, the Giants are definitely going to draft Jeremiah Love because he's like that. I mean, Jeremiah Love. I mean, did you see him at the combine? Did you see his dad when he ran that 40 and ran that 4.37 the first time? Shook his head like that's not good enough. Oh my gosh. He is going to be an absolute beast, and he will not make it to us at 7. So if we want him, we got to go and get him. And boy, do I want him. And so should you. And so does AP, most importantly. So so let me break down for you guys the way that this draft is going to go, because it's really not that hard. Things are becoming much more clear now. There's only a couple of blue chip prospects. We've got pick number 1, Mendoza. We all know that he's going to the Raiders. The Jets at pick 2, they're going to go with either Bailey or Reese. I think they're going to go with Reese just because he's an athletic freak. But if they decide they want to go the safer route with Bailey because, well, they're the Jets, I could definitely see that. I mean, Bailey's had the most sack production in each of the last 2 years, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're going to go one of those 2 guys. And then you get to pick 3, the Arizona Cardinals. And if you look at a bunch of the mocks out there, they typically mock them an offensive lineman like Mauanoa from Notre Dame. And that makes a lot of sense, right? They just moved on from Kyler. they're going to need a quarterback, but they're not going to be able to get their long-term quarterback this year. So it makes sense to invest in the line and then next year go get a quarterback, because that draft is supposed to be loaded with quarterbacks. So you want to set the line and make it a stable environment for that quarterback to thrive. So go get your lineman now, and set your next year quarterback with success. Makes sense. It's also extremely hard to find linemen in free agency because they're getting paid like crazy. I mean, what did we just see with Tyler Linderbaum, right? $27 million a year for the Raiders. Absolutely insane for a center. So a lot of mocks have Arizona's taken a lineman, but we don't have a Penei Sewell in this draft, right? Maanoa, he's not really deserving of that number 3 pick. He's way down the list, and Daniel Jeremiah's big board, and I say way down the list like he's 20. He's not 20 or something. He might be 12 or 9 or something like that. But the point is, it would be a reach at 3. So I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals need to draft a lineman at 3. It doesn't make the most sense. And their GM, Monty Ossenfort, he's done this in the past. In 2023, he had pick number 3, right? And he ended up trading down. He ended up trading down to like 12 and then back up to get Paris Johnson. I think it was at pick 6. But he's got a history of trading back in the draft. So we know that he might be willing to play, and this might be a perfect fit for him because he could trade back to 7. He could still get, there's going to be some linemen. It could be Maanoa. He might be fine with Freeling, the tackle from Georgia, who's rising up. You got Fano. You got the guard from Penn State. There's a few different options. So moving back to 7 makes sense. You can go ahead and take up our 3rd round pick, which I know that's going to make some of you queasy. We already don't have that much draft capital. I get it, and we're going to address that in a little bit, I promise you. But right now, let's keep the train rolling. So the Cardinals, I think, are going to be willing to trade to 7. And then after that, if we don't trade up to 3, you got Jeremiah Love going at 4 to the Giants. I think that the Giants would go with Sonny Styles. I mean, yeah, you can go Carnell Tate, and I think that's a good fit, especially with Malik Neighbors coming off the injury, and trying to set up their quarterback. Dart with another weapon. It makes sense, but John Harbaugh is calling the shots. Has the Ravens invested that much in receivers? And by the way, let's be honest with Carnell Tate. Let's just talk about him right now. Does he look like a Drake London who was drafted 8 to the Falcons, or a Garrett Wilson who was drafted after? How about CeeDee Lamb, who went like 16, or Justin Jefferson, who went 23s? Shout out to the Eagles for not drafting Justin Jefferson and drafting Jalen Reagor instead. Shout out to you. But that's a stray. Anyhow, to me, Carnell Tate, he doesn't look like that type of prospect. I mean, he looks more like a number 2. To me, a really good number 2, but we're talking about the 5th pick in the draft. So I don't see that. Why would you draft that when you could draft an absolute freakazoid like Sonny Styles, who tested like Megatron? I mean, we're talking 6'5", like 245, and ran like a 4.47. I mean, vert. Jumped through the gym, the stadium, whatever you want to call it. He jumped through it all. Absolutely looks like a stud. If I'm the Giants, I'm going Sonny Styles. So then that leaves us with a Reuben Bain. That leaves us with a Caleb Downs. And look, I'm not here trying to pose an argument that says trading up to number 3 is the only option, but I do think it's a really strong option. And right now, the fan base is not considering it as an option. Why? Because we're playing checkers. I'm here to break this down for you. I got you. Chef P is playing chess, and we need to start catching up. That's why you're locked in with your boy Commando. But let's talk about Ruben Bain. Let's talk about Caleb Downs. Probably the two best options that will be there for us at 7. That might be there for us. Of course, I don't know right now. But Ruben Bain, let's talk about him first. Yeah, I'd love some edge help. I know Chef P went ham, signing Caleb, saying Odafe Owe, signing Amenahu. I think they're fantastic signings, but keep in mind that Dorrance Armstrong only has 1 year left. Caleb Chason's only 1 year, and Menahu is only on a 1 year deal as well. So we do need defensive end, and I think that Ruben Bain, I think that he really helps. I think he fits in Durante Jones's scheme because I think you can push him inside and he can rush on the inside, or he can just be the D end. And I think he's got a ton of production, ton of talent. I'm going to dive more into these prospects, so you're getting some of my raw thoughts before I do my deep dive. But I do think that Ruben Bain would be a good option. I can't deny that. But at the end of the day, the dude has T-Rex arms, right? I mean, he's in a 1 percentile arm length, which that's one of the most important stats for a defensive end. And what do we know about Adam Peters? He loves athletic freaks. I mean, the RAS score has to be high, especially if you're drafting in the top 7, right? And that 1 percentile, I don't think it's going to cut it for AP. I really don't. I mean, that's a big gamble. It's a bigger one than I want to take, and I think it's a bigger one that he wants to take. I mean, I just imagine Ruben Bain, trying to rush off a tackle's edge, him using them elbows and them tackles, pushing them out and saying, man, get your elbows away from me, But at the end of the day, if you do have a T-Rex on your line, that is a pretty fierce animal. So I'm not counting him out either. But anyhow, he ain't Jeremiah Love. I'll just say that. And then the other option, let's talk Caleb Downs a little bit. Yeah, Caleb Downs, absolute fierce competitor. He's a dog, and we all about adding dogs. We know that. His tape is fantastic. He started at Alabama as a freshman and then went to Ohio State. He's done some incredible things. But what is he not? He's not an athletic freak, okay? We got to speak the same language as AP. That's not what he is. He's not super fast. He's not super strong. His arms also aren't super long. These are concerns. That medical report that came out from me, that's a concern as well. People with similar injuries have had their career short, and do we know if it's true or not? We don't, but it's a red flag for me. Think about like Derwin James, right? I mean, Caleb Downs, as fierce and as competitive he is, he doesn't look like a Derwin James, right? He doesn't have this. He's not 6'2". His measurables aren't crazy. I just don't. I don't love it. I really don't love it at pick 7. I'm going to be honest with you. Just last year in the draft, think about Nick Emanuwari on Seattle and the impact he had. Man, Seattle traded up pick 35, traded up to get him in the second round. I just don't see, as good as Downs is, I don't see him being the pick. I don't see him being a blue chip prospect. I'm not sure, but it seems like a gamble to me. And so if those are the two options available to us, man, why don't you go up to pick number 3 and get your man Jeremiah Love? This dude, I mean, he's got the speed, Jahmyr Gibbs. He doesn't quite have the quickness. I think Gibbs is so unique because he combines the speed and the quickness. And Jeremiah Love, I don't think quite has that quickness of a Jahmyr Gibbs. But what he can do is he can hurdle your ass. He can jump over you. He can run around you. If he wants to hit that circle button, he can put you in a spin cycle and give you the spin move. He is an absolute home run threat with power. I mean, Gibbs came in at like 198, maybe 200. Jeremiah Love is 212. Um, and imagine what that would do for our team to add a Jeremiah Love. The fan base right now is up in arms about, what are we gonna do at receiver number two? Do we need to draft Carnell Tate? And I'm here to say, pump the brakes, okay? Stop playing checkers. All right. Just because right now we don't know what's going on with Ayuk, we are going to get Ayuk. Now, I can't promise that it's going to be pretty, but we are going to get Brandon Ayuk. It might be September. I don't think it's going to be that long, but it could be if the 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan hold a grudge that much. But look what Brandon Ayuk did. He gave up $30 million because he wanted to play with Jaden Daniels. No one else in the league is going to trade for him because he's not going to play for anyone else. He wants us. Why does he want us? Well, because he's a smart man. Because we got five on it. Jaden Daniels, baby. He wants to play with his boy. And boy, do we want him to play with us. Man, I really want Ayuk. By the way, and we're going to get him. So he's going to be our number two. It doesn't make sense to draft Carnell Tate. I'm sorry. We don't need to do that. But let's put that IU conversation to the side. Let's dream with me for a little bit, if you will. Imagine an offense where we've got Terry McLaurin on one side. We got Brandon Ayuk on another side. We got Jaden Daniels at quarterback. My apologies, Jaden Daniels. I shouldn't mess up your name. Jaden Daniels at QB, who can kill you with his right arm. I guess that's my left. Who can kill you with his arm or his legs. Doesn't matter. Now he can just hand it off to Jeremiah. Who? No. Jeremiah. He can hand it off to Jeremiah, who can scoot for a 60-yard touchdown. It's like, pick your poison. Which way do you want to die today? I mean, we already saw, let's not forget, you want to throw it up the seam, you want to get Chiggy with it, throw him a little screen, throw it up the seam. It don't matter. Chiggy can do it all, and he can bust it loose for a long one. Now we got that threat as well. Just 2 years ago, look what Jaden did with Brian Robinson. Look what he did with Zach Ertz. Shout out to Zach Ertz, by the way. I know you get some hate sometimes, but man, never forget that catch against the Falcons. What a grab. That catch against the Falcons to send us to the playoffs. You had a fantastic year. You done some really good things. Wasn't really feeling you last year, but I'll never forget you for 2024. So shout out to Zach Ertz. But we going from no yak Zach to getting Chiggy with it. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Getting Chiggy with it. Let's go. Yeah, we got weapons everywhere. Who gonna be able to stop us? We'll see about David Blau and what he brings, but I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm seeing. And so now we got Jeremiah Love, and that solves that wide receiver two issue because we've got a dynamic quarterback, a dynamic running back, a dynamic receiver, and a tight end threat. Like, look where we are. Look at our team and where we are compared to where we were just a couple years ago. We're out here saying, like, who's going to be wide receiver two? Who's going to be the backup center? Like, that's how good we have it right now. Don't forget that. Look what Jaden did with an absolute disaster of a roster. I mean, best receivers are like, Terry, of course, but then it's like OZ, Noah Brown. Um, like he's gonna have way better weapons than that. Um, by the way, I just want to throw a quick shout out to Jaden Daniels because I'm seeing a lot of different publications where it's talking about the 2024 draft class and how Jaden's like the third or the fourth best quarterbacks. Man, y'all have absolutely lost your mind. Um, when you think about a quarterback, here's the way that I think about it, and this is why Jaden's the best of the group. Sorry to y'all, you monsters of the Midway. Um, might be thinking Caleb's better because had the better year. The Bears had a better year last year. He had a better year too. I can't lie. Jaden got hurt, but this is what separates Jaden from the rest of them. Jaden did not have a good defense. In fact, it was one of the worst defenses in the league. He did not have talent on offense. In fact, it was some of the worst talent on offense. Who did the 2024 Commanders have? They had Jaden Daniels, and he controlled games by himself. I mean, what he did in the fourth quarter was absolutely phenomenal. He didn't need a defense producing the most turnovers in the league. He didn't need all these weapons. It was just him, and that's what a true quarterback can do for you. He can rise above the parts. Where I look at a Drake May and the defense that Vrabel brought in, the special teams that they had, he was kind of carrying them. I look at Caleb a lot of times, who the turnovers were carrying him. He's snoozing for the first three quarters, came alive as hell in the fourth quarter. Got to give him some love for that. That's for sure. But anyhow, Jaden's still number one. We all need to wake up. Wake up. We're not living in this microwave society where it's what did we do? What did they do for us 1 minute ago? And that's the end all be all. Um, but yeah, I'm here to wake you guys up. I want to hear from you guys though. I think it makes so much sense to trade up for Jeremiah Love at pick 3, because the whole philosophy, the prevailing philosophy, is we don't have the draft picks, and I want to go into deep dive into that for you guys, and I understand that, and I would have agreed with that philosophy actually if it was just a couple weeks ago. But after what Chef P just did in free agency, I mean, he signed all these signings. They're young with experience, and we filled out our roster in an incredible way. We know now that Chef P can fill out a roster and then give multi-year contracts to people. So not just 1 year band-aids, but can actually build some momentum for 2 3 years. And he can do that. And we know that this dude is a shrewd negotiator. I mean, the best of the best. Man, we gotta go, and I love you, Chef P. He can do this all day, is what he does. But what is more difficult, what's more challenging, is to get that top tier prospects. That's what this team needs. And that is one Jeremiah Love. And imagine if it only costs a third round pick. Look, in that third round, it's an early third round too. I don't want to shade that third round pick. That is good currency. I'm just saying Jeremiah is worth that currency. We can get ourselves a center, which this fan base is hating on Nick Allegretti. Which shame on you. Nick Allegretti is proven. He had a fantastic 2024 season. When did you come from a game thinking, man, Nick Allegretti messed things up? He blew it for us this week. I never came out of a game thinking that. I like him a lot, but yeah, we could get a center. We could get a wide receiver, and a quality one at pick 71. I get that. I get that. But to me, it's worth it. Give that up for Jeremiah Love. Look, I don't want to give future draft capital for sure. Like, I don't want to keep playing this game of having less draft capital than our, slotted 7 picks. I don't want to do that. But if it can take this year's third round pick to do it, you do it. Um, I, Look, gone are the days where we're run, by the Rivera crew where we had pick 11, right? This is speaking to the crowd who wants us to trade down and accrue more picks. Gone are those days where we could have drafted a Chris Olave, we could have drafted a Kyle Hamilton, but instead we traded back to pick 16 to pick Dotson. And how'd that work out for us? We got Sam Howell. Shout out to Sam Howell. Man, if we were the Red Wolves and we were howling, I would have loved that. But we know now that we weren't going to be howling. We got Sam Howell. We got, I think, Brian Robinson and Cole Turner. Like, how did that work for us? I'd rather have Olave. I'd rather have Kyle Hamilton, right? Like, there's not that many top tier prospects in this draft. Trading back, accumulating more picks, this is not the way. Commando says this is not the way. Trust and believe. Believe me, this ain't the way. If we walk out of this draft and we can say that in this draft we got Laramie Tunsil because he was our second and our fourth round pick, and we got Jeremiah Love, then I think we hit an absolute home run. Let's start again next year with a fresh slate of picks, but let's not try to get crafty and move back. Let's also not stick and pick. Let's get ourselves some elite stuff on this draft. That's going to be the best thing for our franchise. Also, this is a different take, maybe for a different episode, but I do see, a trade. Remember, AP, his first year traded John Ridgeway, got like a 6th pick. I wouldn't be surprised. We've got so much DT tackle depth. I wouldn't be surprised if he traded like a Johnny Newton, someone who has some more value, gets like a 4 back for him. Like, I really love Johnny Newton in the draft. I was pumped when we got him. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But he hasn't really worked out as much. I don't know if his smaller stature is going to be as fitting for a Durante Jones scheme. And I think there's still value in him on his rookie deal with people who probably evaluated him as a first round pick coming into that draft. Maybe not because we got him at 36, but anyhow, swinging like a 4th is something that I could see AP doing. And what do the Eagles do oftentimes? They get in front of things, in front of trades. Like, if we missed on Johnny Newton, recoup the capital now. Anyhow, I say all of that just to say that I think there's things to happen in the future that we might get some more draft capital in this draft. Remember, Chef P is playing chess. You are playing checkers. Where we are right now is not where we are going to be, and it's not the only variable. That's one of AP's superpowers, is juggling the different variables. I told you on the last stream, you can improve your roster through free agency, through the draft. You can improve it through player development, and you can do trades. And AP juggles all of that masterfully. So anyways, I've done a lot of talking. Have I planted a seed in your head about Jeremiah Love coming to your Commanders? We're not going to get him at 7. We know that. But is he worth trading up? If you only have to give up your 3rd round pick, and I know it's a good pick, I get that. But if you have to do that in this draft, is it worth it for you? I think 100% it is worth it. And more than that, I think AP thinks it's worth it as well. We know that they want to be committed to the run. And what better way to do than get Jeremiah Love? Jeremiah Love. Man, make your way to the Commanders, Jeremiah Love. I want to have these conversations about, Saquon Barkley might not be the best running back in the division. We got our boy. You in love with him? I'm in love with him. Whether it's running with Jaden, whether it's running with Love, whether it's throwing it deep to Terry, whether it's getting Chiggy in the middle, how you want it, you can get it. That's how I like it. Yep, I wanted to plant this seed in your mind. I haven't heard anyone else with this take. I do not think it's far fetched, and I think it seriously needs to be considered. Do you? Tell me in the comments and more. We'd love to hear from you. This is the Midway to the District podcast. It's been a blast chopping up with you. There's going to be a ton more content coming. I know it's been a little bit slow. I know you're still seeing me in my room. It's not going to be like this, but thank you for rocking with us while it does. I'm probably going to start breaking down more and more of those signings that we just got, and then we got to get into the draft. This thing moves quick, and we're going to keep pumping this out for you. So I can't wait to chop it up with you next time. But for now, Commando out.